a church and I can commute in every day. What are the people of God to do when they have made it? Isaiah says, the Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me. Some of you know a different translation that says, the favor of the Spirit of God is upon me and has anointed me to proclaim the good news. And then we say really quietly, to the poor. You remember Shirley Chisholm? Yeah. She was the unbossed and unbought, the fierce first black congresswoman and the first black and first female candidate to seek a major party's nomination for the presidency. You know, thank God for Shirley Chisholm, because some of us wouldn't be standing anywhere today if it weren't for Shirley Chisholm. She once said, service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. And many people have repeated this quote over and over again in one form of another, but what does it really mean? And what does it mean for the people of God? You know, we don't really have a lot of, some of us don't understand what it means to write that rent check every month and just write it and write it and write it, because some of us have moved on to the place where we have equity and we're building something, right? And we know that our investment is going to return something, and we've forgotten that service is important because you don't own anything. At Atlanta First, we just define discipleship this way. We say that we are working to become so much like Jesus that other people have a hard time telling us apart. That's what a disciple is. A disciple is one who learns from their teacher, who soaks up everything that the teacher has to teach and becomes so much like that teacher that the other people have a hard time telling the difference between the teacher and the student. I see my godmamas on the front row, and I know if they close their eyes, they're having a hard time telling the difference between the teachers and the students this morning. To be a disciple means to be one who sleeps, breathes, eats, moves by the power of the Holy Spirit. And if we can't be led by the power of the Holy Spirit, if we can't exist to live like Jesus lived, then we're dead in the water. I'll tell you the truth. I have a lot of church members sitting on pews at Atlanta First this morning. You know I'm telling the truth. I've said the same to them. And not a whole lot of disciples. Because there's a difference between a disciple and a church member. Membership gets you perks, right? When we are members, we think we are owed something. If I pay my dues, then I get something back. And that is the opposite, the antithesis of discipleship. For discipleship, we are to put in and 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 expect growth. Disciples don't own anything. Disciples give everything. Well, how do we do that? We do that through service. And Isaiah has given us a really, really good outline for this. And what he says is that you exist wait a minute, I'm not Jesus. This sounds familiar. Didn't Jesus say this in Luke? Yes, he did. He went in the temple, he opened the scroll to Isaiah, and he read this text, and he said, yes, I am the Messiah, the one who is anointed to preach good news to the poor, but that didn't let you off the hook.
Yeah.
You, disciples of Jesus Christ, you who are living and striving to become so much like Jesus that the world can't tell the difference between you and Jesus, are anointed in this year of the Lord's favor to do good and preach the good news to the poor. Oh, Reverend Jasmine, we serve at the food pantry every week. Good. We're going to be Team Central for the race at City of Refuge. Hallelujah. I wrote my check to my sorority where we say, service first. Well, God bless you. But the service that disciples are called to is going to cost you more than dollars and cents. It's going to cost you more than a couple hours here and there so you can pat yourself on the back and say, ooh, I did good today. I thought she was going to come in here and be nice to us. We raised her. Who are the poor? In this country, we have good definitions and good census work for who the poor are. But as the people of God, you've got to broaden your definition.
Yes.
The poor are those who are poor in spirit. The poor are those children who cannot read because their parents are either absent or too busy at work to sit down and help them read at night as they go to bed. The poor are those who still struggle for health care in the richest nation in the world. The poor are those who think that because I made it, then I don't have to do anything else to reach back and pull anybody else along. The poor are those of us who think we've got it all together because we've got disciple 1, 2, 3, 4, Christian educator, and whatever else pins that Cokesbury can come up with. And that we made it. The poor are those who are brokenhearted. The poor are those who are lonely. The poor are those who grieve. The poor are those who are ill. The poor of those are our neglected elders who have been left to fend for themselves. Who are the poor in your life? How will you serve them? Where God leads us, will we follow?
Amen.
And then God said through the prophet Isaiah, he said, he has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness the prisoners. How am I supposed to bind up brokenhearted people when I'm brokenhearted? How am I supposed to proclaim freedom when I am captive? How am I supposed to release the darkness when I am drowning in darkness and cannot see the light to save my life? The only way to do that is through service. Through finding your way to pull it together just long enough to go and sit with somebody else who is brokenhearted, and y'all find a way together to get to the heart of Jesus and say, God, we don't have this, but pass me not, O gentle Savior. Hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass. The Underground Railroad didn't happen because one person said, I want to be free. No, it happened happened because a whole bunch of captives got together and said, I'm done with this. God, make a way out of no way. I know you didn't create me to be bound up. I know you didn't create me to be captive. I know you didn't create me for less than abundant life. So set us free. Service gets us there. Darkness is a sticky wicket. The blind leading the blind just gets us all bound up, doesn't it? It gets us all lost. It gets us all bruised up and broken up and trying to figure out which way we're supposed to go. But if we know that we are going towards something, the promise of light, Jesus is the what? The light of the world. And in him there is no darkness. So we know that where two or three or more, Julie, are gathered in God's name,